Good afternoon, redheaded step family. Quick note in the community tab, or I think it's now called the posts of this channel. I have shared a very good product from a very reliable YouTuber. If you're in need of a power bank that's going to last, it's very cheap and it's very good. You could watch that. Link is in the post section of this channel. Let's hop right in. The Republican and the Democratic Party are both completely extinct. And when I say that, I don't mean by the representatives and politicians. I mean that by the people. For instance, I've been a Democrat my whole life. My hatred for George Bush Sr. and Cheney was very strong and very accurate, and I understood who they were. And as the decades went on, the controllers of the Republicans slid over and started controlling the Democrats and kind of losing control over the Republicans, which is what we're seeing today. But by no means has anyone who has ever voted for Donald Trump actually a Republican. For instance, let's take a look at the news sources. All of the liberal media, we're all aware, ABC, NBC, CBS, and all the cable news stations are all originally liberal-based, but now very, very far left. Now, 180 degrees opposite of that is Fox News. You notice that Fox News does run a lot of stories about illegal immigrants getting arrested and disproving some of the falsehoods made by the extreme left media, but they don't have Donald Trump on. They don't have Donald Trump on because Fox News and also the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, and 4 or 5 other major publications are owned by Murdoch, Rupert Murdoch, who is an extreme right. He is what's left of the Republican Party without excluding the politicians. But the voter base itself is no longer Republican. They are MAGA. There are hundreds of thousands of Democrats like myself who have come to the MAGA party, including Donald Trump himself, who has spent his entire public career protesting to be a Democrat. And like himself, I have come over, and Donald Trump has used the Republican Party base to get elected, but by no means is Donald Trump a Republican. He is MAGA. You are MAGA. Now let's take a look at the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party, when I think of the Democratic Party, I think of JFK as a good root base for what a Democrat is. And we are now thousands and thousands of miles away from what the Democratic Party was at one time. Now, if we go back another 100 years before JFK, we clearly understand that the Democratic Party was started by the same man who started the Ku Klux Klan, and those were the same people who were fighting for slavery when slavery was not legal up north and that we had the Civil War. Although the people who carried that rebel flag themselves were against slavery because it took their jobs away. So the soldiers that fought in that war were fighting for a meal and a paycheck. They weren't fighting to keep slaves. There were very few, only the powerful, that wanted to keep slavery. So that flag belongs to those people. And in my personal opinion, is not a source of sadness in the history of America. But the Democratic leadership, the oligarchs, have always been pro-slavery, which is why we have open borders, and we're finding slave labor, childhood slave labor, all over the country on farms and in factories, and worse. So the Democratic Party is no longer a Democratic Party, and a couple of proofs of that is the communist who's running in the Democratic Party under the Democratic Party umbrella for mayor of New York, who somehow believes that he could tax only white people when the mayor himself cannot tax anyone. There is the mayor of a city cannot institute a tax unless it's inside the city limits, but it literally doesn't, it's not something he can do. It's something that the city council has to do. It's not something that he can invoke. Although saying you're going to tax white people itself is a crime in the United States, somehow the Republican Party or even the MAGA Party fails to enforce the Constitution and remove this guy from our country. Another one that will surprise you is that Nancy Pelosi is currently being primaried by a communist, and that communist was actually the woman who ran the AOC campaign. So now they're trying to get rid of Nancy Pelosi, a far-left Democrat, and replace her with a communist. So the Republican Party today, anyone who takes the AI PAC money, and that would be pretty much every single politician Republican politician in D.C., is what's left of the Democratic Party. Now, I only know of two, maybe three. One is Taylor Greene, and the other one is Massey. And those two people are not taking AI PAC money. And those who are taking the AI PAC money are the people who are all for war in Iran, which is all of them. No one in MAGA is for a war. The whole Donald Trump's entire point was running on no wars. We voted for no wars as a group. So the Republican Party is extinct as far as the voter base goes. And this is going to bring up a big problem in about 12 months, because we're either going to go in a full MAGA direction or a full communist direction. And there will be some Republicans mixed in, but we don't have enough MAGA people standing up to run for office, or in any case to primary any of these far left Rupert Murdoch or far right Rupert Murdoch type Republicans that no longer represent the base of voters. Again, there might be some people that call themselves Republican, but when you look at what the Republicans are actually doing versus what MAGA is doing, which is 180 degrees, and then you look to the left and you see what the communists, previously known as the Democrats, are doing, I believe using the term Republican and Democrat at this point is dangerous because, again, I'm stating there are no actual elected officials that actually act like Republicans traditionally or Democrats traditionally. Now, Rupert Murdoch also owns, between UK and Australia, about 12 more publications. So he is very powerful. And I did want to mention that another weird thing about the New York guy running for mayor is that he wants to do government-run grocery stores. Well, I don't know if you've ever been to the DMV, but can you imagine how long it's going to take you to go to the Department of Food and Beverages and get enough food for your family for a week? Did we just turn a 45-minute trip into a 4.5-hour trip? I think that's the intention here, is to slow down the process and the distribution of food to further destroy the United States culture. And I believe that could easily happen. I believe that the next 12 months will make or break this country. And if Donald Trump does not get to paper ballots by then in the next election, and that literally probably has to be in about 7 months before they start printing the computer ballots, he has to, we got no time. And at that point, I believe it's out of Donald Trump's hands. If we show up at the election in 2006, at 2026, and the communists steal the election, which is exactly what's going to happen if we don't have paper ballots. Let's see what you guys are saying. You guys are agreeing 100%. It looks like terrorists, more like terrorists than crazy communist breadlines. Yes, exactly what they're pushing for. Past that, if we don't get paper ballots, again, the future of our country is in our hands and has to be taken care of kinetically. And I'm not telling you to do that. I'm simply pointing out that we're so far gone that we cannot get our country back in the court systems because the court systems are rigged. Some of you may remember a prank call that I made to the DOG, and I asked the woman to climb up on the statue and remove the blindfold from Lady Liberty, and she hung up on me. That was about 4 years ago. And we are still in that position with these 703 appointed judges that were appointed by Biden and Obama. Let's see, at 7th damn straight, 100%. So we see these counterfeit chaos still happening in the streets with these paid protesters. And, that does remind me of something very important. I can't remember, what is that woman's name? Anna Paulina. I don't know if you ever saw her in her bathing suit, her Trump bathing suit. It's worth looking at. Anna Paulina is asking people to contact, I believe it's Massey, because she wants to put the kingmaker himself, George Soros, on the stand in front of Congress to answer questions. The sooner that happens, the quicker we can take care of these things. I also want to mention, very important, that the reason that the DOJ, Pam Bondi, is not pushing through a bunch of and making arrests right now is because we have judges like the DC judge that keeps getting, the head judge in DC that keeps getting all the magically, randomly getting all the Donald Trump cases, Bosworth or Bozeman, Judge Bosworth or Judge Bozeman. As long as Judge Bozeman is on the stand, Pam Bondi can't convict Adam Schiff of treason. Why that's not a military case, I don't understand, because treason is a military action. That's when a private citizen takes part in a military action. It's no longer a Pam Bondi problem. It's a Gitmo problem. So I don't understand. Obviously, I'm really good at law, and I'm really good at finding loopholes in laws, especially. And I don't understand, what is it that I don't know that doesn't make this a military issue? There are people going around, that skinny kid with the damn cowboy hat. I don't remember what his name is, but the other night I listened to him again. He told another half-truth. That's what I keep telling him on. And then the half-truth, the lie part of the half-truth, he makes this ridiculous statement, and he's done it again. And I'll probably make a video on it because the guy is abso-frickin-lutely, Derek Johnson, that's his name. He's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. He makes these incredible statements based on half lies. And it worries me that people trust him. And I'm not telling you not to trust him. I'm not telling you to ever trust anybody at all, including myself. I'll give you ideas and you could throw the crappy ones away. But he makes very strong statements that are very untrue. I don't think he is a bad guy. I simply think he's a dumb guy. He is as smart as he looks. And that is my personal opinion. But I have literally caught him in lies. I look up, he gives, the first time he was giving ridiculously wrong executive order numbers. He was misinterpreting. When I did find the right one, he was misinterpreting the executive order. And then he was making a statement based on his misinterpretations that would catapult something to happen in the future that was never going to happen because of the statement he made wasn't true to start with. Anna Paulina Luna did look quite attractive in that patriotic bathing suit. Oh, yeah! But otherwise, it looks like things are still going to poop, it seems like. Yeah, that's the poop Yes, it is. But if you guys want to call your congressman or Thomas Massie, who I believe she said was the only one that could, it's either Thomas Massie or that other gray-haired guy. But either way, make a phone call to Thomas Massie's office, or what is that other damn guy's name? Maybe watch Anna Paulina, search Anna Paulina and Soros and you'll find it. But he's the only one that can order him to come to, and it can't be Thomas Massie, actually, because they won't put Thomas Massie on any projects or boards. They're just, the only thing he could do is vote on stuff. So we need to get to the bottom of that. I'll make that my next project to get that, so we can get those phone calls in, so we can remember, one phone call equals 10,000 people. So we don't need 100 of you. We need 10 of you. We need 20 of you. We've already proven that a very small number of people on this channel can make very big changes. And Trump has heard our voice twice with phone calls that we made. He has literally, within 24 hours, regurgitated what we called and our concerns were. Ron Johnson, I think it is Ron Johnson. I will get to the bottom of it, but it may be Ron Johnson. We do need Soros to testify to what he has done. How they can't just pick him up. I mean, the money leads right back to him. Why is he so untouchable? Why can't even on Fox News you can't say George Soros? I don't know. The shorter I keep this, the better. Again, if I did do a product review that I shared, I shared a product review from a very reputable channel on power banks. If you are someone who needs a power bank and goes out and buys them from Five Below or Walmart, and you realize these things last 3 or 4 months and they don't charge your phone more than even twice, I found a very good video that I have shared with you guys, and I have actually purchased the product that is in that video for a power bank. So if you need something positive, I did put that link in the post section of this channel. I hope you guys are all having a beautiful day, a peaceful day. And you know what? Let's do a real quick prayer. Dear God, please show us a way we can help people. Show us a way that we can help those weaker and in worse positions than us. Please show us the way that we can encourage people, our politicians, to do the right thing, to fight for America, and not the special interests that exist here in America. Dear Lord, thank you for everything you've given us and everything you've taken away from us. Please keep our loved ones safe, and please wake up those that we love that cannot see. Amen. All right, the last and final thing I do want to mention is there is some what appears to be probably CIA an operation that they were going to do back during JFK in Cuba, which was to project the Mother Mary in the sky. It seems like in lightning storms that demons or angels seem to be appearing inside these lightning storms, and I do believe it is CIA operation and not actual demons or angels that are showing up. And do remember that the final thing that Dr. John Coleman told me in 2013 that has not happened yet is the false UFO scare. That's the only thing on the list of things that Dr. John told me in 2013, or actually in 2010, but they started in 2013. That's how I became a giant channel. That's 17 channels ago. This is number 17. So my first channel, I was getting 300,000, 600,000 views in under 24 hours. Every time I posted something, that was only because I was regurgitating that everything a registered spy, MI6, told me. And he was followed around by General McInerney, who came up to me to investigate me. And I looked at him and I said, "Good morning, General." And he looked at me and he said, "Good morning," and repeated my full name to my face. So the last pin standing right now is the UFO pin. So as you see these videos come across your screen, keep it in mind that this is and if it's not, so what? So the frickin' aliens are here. If they wanted to kill us, they would have did it a long time ago. All right. Amen. Thank you very much. Peace and love worldwide. And live your life before your life lives you. And remember, in the post section of this channel is the best battery bank that you could buy from a very trusted YouTuber who does the review.